Let's bust up some suckers. I was like, where the fuck of fool am I? Having difficulties hearing. Gotta go back to the hideaway.
Now, where's Gav?
Gav should be back by now.
Thank you for your valuable input.
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria. But none of the curse breakers have returned.
Ah, Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the Mother Crystals. Four Mother Crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rosfield.
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rosfield. And you're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune. Along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
I wish birds would just stop trying to fight outside my window. Don't make this my business. Autos counter. Following hideaway facilities are now available. Alien reports. Patron's Whisper, the Hunt Board. All three are located near Otto in the Mess. And also, good job, lovely bibliophile. That is correct.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
I don't think I think it's an easy one, but I don't think many people will just have it spring to their head as soon as they see it, you know, because it's kind of an old school thing. You know, it would be like me making a Kevin Sorbo reference, you know. It's just like, who's going to get that except for the people that know?
You think it's all right to touch him?
What do you need? A Sancfordian, do you? And?
Off limits. That means you. Don't you know who I is? The game has considerably less charisma with the loss of the original Cid. Yeah, it's such a tragedy too, because, you know, here I was spending so much time telling everyone about how I wanted to play as Cid, you know, as the playable character, and, you know, here he goes, up and dies.
It's not the ether. It won't be long now, Martel.
And
They'll try your apples soon enough.
Clive has fallen even deeper into darkness rather than coming out of it, so.
Cid, I was hoping to speak to you.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well, as you know, we've been trying to grow fruit down here.
It's good to know that something of the old hideaway still lives on.
Martel's pride and joy. It was a sapling when she rescued it from the rubble, but look at it now. All our hard work's finally paying off. I took it on, you see, after she died, and now the fruit's finally ready to eat. And not only is it ready, it's actually tasty. Sweet as you like, in fact. She bred the bitter right out of it.
Impressive. And welcome news to more than a few, I'd say.
I thought this first harvest could go to the curse breakers, on account of all they do for the hideaway. You couldn't take them some, could you? Seems better them coming from you.
It'll be nice being the bearer of good news for a change.
Oh, thank you. She always had a soft spot for that lot, see? And once they've had their share, I'll see to it that everyone else gets some. Here you go. Martel apples, they're called, in honor of her memory. You hear that, Martel? Today's finally the day.
In 5 years, a sapling turned into that? I'm no arborist, okay? But there's some trees outside that were planted like years ago, and they're nowhere near this size. This tree is, you know, activated its growth spurt, I guess. You wanted to play as Cid and now you're Cid? You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
How much water can a flower?
Very clever response.
Did you come through the forge today? It smells like a still. It would explain blacksmiths.
You still don't really understand the point of him naming himself Cid. People who already knew Cid would
And
know
you
it's not
say
him,
Cid
and the
built
ones
this place?
who
Well, one
didn't
can't really
know him
build
wouldn't
what's
know
been
the
lying
difference.
around for several thousand years.
So in this case, it's my interpretation that the ideals that Sid lived by are what they're trying to keep alive. And if you let the world know that, you know, the person behind those ideals is dead, then all of his ideals die with him. So they want to still let people know that Sid is out there trying to liberate bearers and keep the idea that they could still what's a way to like the hope is still alive, I guess, you know. By passing the name on, they're saying that the name is more important than the actual person, because people hope that Sid will liberate them and take them off to a better place and make the world a better tomorrow and all this other, you know,
So Mather's all right.
the stuff and stuff.
Yeah. Others weren't so lucky though.
You two look like you could use something to eat. Here, courtesy of Martel.
Martel. Now, where have I heard that name before?
Weren't she the girl from the Furrows?
Course she was. An odd sort, that one. Loved plants more than people.
Aye, and brave as a bane might. Remember when she ran back into the hideaway to collect them trees when Titan attacked? Wait,
These aren't those apples, are they? Well, I'll be. She'd have been proud, and rightly so. Thank you, Sid.
And what's the point of making the enemy believe he's still alive and incur their wrath?
But these beauties are as sweet
Well,
as
you know,
I'll
same
have to pay
thing.
the boys down in the backyard a visit to tell them thanks.
There are advantages to you know, like for all the enemies that you make as being Sid, there's also all the allies that you make as being Sid. So, you know, you'll still have connections and things like that. Yuzu trees take 20 plus years just to bear fruit. Man, I don't know. It must be just a fast growing tree. You know, that's the only thing we can throw out there. There's a good thing to keeping the name Sid. It angers Hugo greatly. Clive Sid versus Hugo rivalry is one of the finer points. I really wonder if Hugo actually knew and saw the original Sid, because I don't think they really touched on that yet. And I'm assuming that he has seen and spoken and knows what Sid looks like. So it'll be a very interesting conversation when we show up as Sid and he's like, hold on a second, I've been going to war and setting all these traps for Sid, and it's been you this entire time. You know, like, I won a long time ago and I've just been wasting my time.
A gift from the backyard. For your service.
Blimey, these take me back. I haven't seen a hideaway apple since. Old Sid was the only one who could stomach the things. He'd nab 'em right from the branch, made Martel livid. Not that anyone could stay mad at the man for long.
That sounds like the Sid I knew, all right.
Planning on keeping that lot to yourselves, were you? Hang on. These aren't Martels, are they? I'm glad to see someone carried on what she started. Can't have been easy, not in the Deadlands. Reckon she'd be happy knowing all her hard work didn't go to waste. Clive, tell the lad down in the backyard to run some over for me, will you?
Not so much as a thank you. Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid. You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh, and give our compliments to the gardener, won't you?
That was the last of the apples. I should head to the backyard and pass along everyone's regards.
Safe. Not that I'm planning a journey.
Clive!
So you did survive.
Anything catch your eye? Always something in there.
Wheelie.
Oh, Clive! Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
The Patron's Whisper? Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's donations?
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any?
He still has the bearer's mark. A lot of people that I've seen don't have the bearer's mark anymore in this place.
Come to claim your just desserts?
Patron's Whisper. Completing side quests will earn Clive renown, inspiring nameless benefactors from across the Twins to donate money or items to Clive's causes. Visit Desiree at the Patron's Whisper in the Hideaway's Mess to view current renown level and accept any donations available. Ooh. Expand renown to unlock.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
I want to save first because I need to know if this spends my renown or if it just whatchamacallit.
Oh, I wasn't
No, it's
expecting
just
you.
free because that was the threshold for renown. I have 55.
You earned this.
Alright, that's the threshold.
Here you are.
Alrighty.
Come again. I may have more for you.
What you got? I've been looking all over
What's
for
the
you.
matter, Nectar?
Oh, this
The
is
hunt
probably-
board.
Hunt.
It's where the Cursebreakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with later. Was that what you wanted to know? Right. Well, leaving your mightiness aside for the moment, the people of Valisthea are going through a lot already. What with the Blight and the war. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. So if the Cursebreakers are too busy to help, then perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
Show me what you got. Reports of fiends terrorizing the countryside are posted to the hunt board in hopes that fearless heroes such as Clive, what about Sid, will take it upon themselves to hunt down and slay the notorious marks. Oh, killed that one. Clairview, Sandbreck, Broken Hilt, Rosaria. I hope these show up on the map. I can't select them and do anything. button. Aha, marks available in the region. That? Oh, that's a tomato. Also, this is marks available in the region. It's also on every single thingamabobber. That's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. They don't show up on the map. No. Who's this? Sandbreck? I don't even know where that is. The Broken Hilt.
Them old apples were enough.
That broom's as ragged as goat's locks.
Hilariously, most bears don't want to be liberated based on what we're shown. Yeah? Yeah? You know, these 5 years have not been kind. You find Tarja. I don't remember where she is. Forget her name, but the woman that wears purple has the grid that shows everyone
How
related.
much water can a
They
flower
know.
drink?
About as much.
You talking about Benedicta? In regards to the Hugo thing? Tar explains what's up with the bear's marks.
It's not
Doesn't spend their free items, they don't show up on the map. The bad is that you have to search them out. The worst part is some of them are very powerful and can derail you. You're doing one quest, and then in the middle of it, a mark 10 levels higher than you was mixed in with some regular enemies. Oof.
The Cursebreakers send their thanks. And their compliments. They were clearly very fond of Martel.
They remembered her. After all these years. I suppose she was very kind, even to a tongue-tied lummox like me. You were one of the good ones, Martel. Why did you have to die? She put everything into her work. She wasn't going to rest until we had fruit sweet enough to enjoy. And now we do. When she died, I named a sapling after her. And now it's a full-grown tree. Martel lives on through the fruit it bears.
And through you. Her dream would have died with her, had you not kept it alive. That's something to be proud of.
I didn't do anything really, but thank you. You're kinder to me than I deserve.
By the way, Otto's expecting some of your crop. And I wouldn't mind some of it either, if that's not too much to ask.
Of course not. I'll see that you're both well provided for. They like your fruit, Martel. Isn't that wonderful? I'd say it's about time we planted you some siblings, don't you think?
I don't know about you guys, but that is one tree. It's not going to produce very many apples. Alrighty. Isabel, the grid will help. Link, Benedicta, Hugo, and Sid. I was looking at the grid yesterday, and I did see like the relationship markers and things like that between Sid and various other people's The infirmary is over there. Grr. Walked right past it when I needed to not do that.
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
And how may I assist you today?
How may I help you today?
I guess it's interesting that the mortal foe disappears, but I guess we're not really done with this area. But yeah. The love of his life. Oh.
Thus
Hold on a
ends
sec.
today's
No,
lesson.
hold on a second.
Ah, my favorite pupil. Of course.
Icon. Order of Earth, where human goes, the current dominant, blah, 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 blah. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting.
The state of the realm is ever-changing, Clive.
You can go back. Yeah, I've, like I said yesterday, I was going through that. And, you know, I saw that she was using Hugo at one point, and then they were like secret lovers, and that she was also lovers to the Barnabas guy, or whatever his name is.
Once the Dalmecs have laid siege to the Dominion, very little will be leaving Twinside, including the many medicines distilled there. Once the Dalmecs have laid siege to the Dominion, very little will be leaving Twinside.
Alright, well, apparently Tarja has nothing to say to me. Okay. I guess all that's left to do is do a main story. Local map. Where was... Maybe that's how I can do it. Where was this hunt again? The Broken Hilt. It's over here, and yeah, it doesn't show what I need to know, but it's probably here. I think this is like the windmill and stuff like that.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Cid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
Bloodline.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
Killer bees, we are the swarm!
Yeah!
Potion. Gotta learn how to play the game again.
Stay down!
Did I use a potion? I believe I did. This area has some stuff to it.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! They'll think we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all, for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
All right, I heard you the first time.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. You'd have to be dull as a sack of stones to think you could take on the Empire. What with their 100 full legions?
You're a long way from home, aren't you?
Empire?
Keep to the roads now.
Stay out of the shadows. Hey, boy.
What did those knights want, Father?
2 more left to join the garrison this very moment.
I just supposed to talk to
We're
any
going hunting for outlaws.
villagers?
There was a time my husband might have stood up to those men. Though back then, he wouldn't have needed to.
Guess any villagers will do. Oh, or this person.
You seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. You seen them, didn't you? At least I think there was a Black Shields. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
What do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harboring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned them in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know.
How'd you get it?
But we need to find out. Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another Eastpool.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
I'm gonna go all the way around over there. What am I going over there? His mother's legitimately crazy. Yeah, she doesn't. I mean,
this pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
We definitely got introduced to her craziness towards the beginning of the game, and it's one of those inevitable, I can't wait until I just get to...
Ever since the Apollo-tree, we've seen more and more of these echoes.
What do you think is waking them? The Mother Crystal's collapse?
I have an idea. You're not going to like it.
Clive probably won't have the heart to kill her, so someone else will have to kill her. Maybe Jill will kill her. Or maybe an Icon will kill her. Maybe Ultima. Maybe Joshua. Joshua would be a nice way to go.
Very well.
Stay down! Die! You lose!
I have a feeling, because since Joshua's not hanging out with us, that there's probably going to be...
Time to fight.
Make it look easy.
I like the idea of Joshua having to do it because, you know, he absorbed Ultima, and so I'm sure that he's going to get corrupted by
more of my mother's men.
By Ultima. You know, maybe if we get the darkness kind of influencing him to murder his own mom. It'll be very, very interesting. And you know, maybe we'll have to kill Joshua ourselves. As things go, as things do. Your motivation for hating Clive is flimsy at best. If I remember correctly, it was because he's either, I think it was because he was rejected. It's been a little while though. Should try the Phoenix Ultimate if you can learn it. I don't know if I'm gonna put points into that anytime soon. I got the Wind Ultimate Tornado move.
We're not alone.
Don't get surrounded.
And it's really good, don't get me wrong. But the cooldown on it, I'm not sure if the cooldown justifies putting that many points into it.
You're finished!
Like, I can probably get, like, just an example of... Oh, apparently I can teleport wherever I want now. Just an example. I grabbed Aerial Blast. And Aerial Blast, like I said, bomb diggity. But I could probably cast 2, maybe 3 Wicked Wheels before this comes off cooldown. And I think 2 to 3 Wicked Wheels gonna do more damage than Aerial Blast. Just what I believe. nice weather we're having. You talk about it being 81 degrees. 8 o'clock in the morning. Nice weather.
Very well.
I'm sure. Also, this tornado makes it very hard to see the enemies that you're fighting, and that's just annoying. You know, like, and get free hits on you and stuff.
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then, we owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again. I'll show you a true shield of Rosaria. Stay down!
I am the thunder. Talking about the in-game weather? Oh, well. In that case, yes, it does look like wonderful weather. It has the nice cloudy skies, you know, with the mist and everything like that. Probably like 60 degrees, and you can just chill. Love it.
Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you. We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Odil. Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry.
No, we'll take our time. Yeah, he was rejected by the Phoenix, but you don't know if that is explained. To my recollection, it has not been explained why he was rejected. But it has been mentioned that he was rejected. And the most logical conclusion right now is that he was rejected because he's freaking Ifrit. But we have not received confirmation of that. All we know is that their grandfather was a dominant of Phoenix, then Joshua became dominant. The ultimates do have ridiculous cooldowns. Yeah. And the Phoenix ultimate does heal, but it only heals the like blue or the light green bar. So like right now, if I were to use the Phoenix ultimate, it would not put me to full HP. And that to me does not seem like it's useful, but it's not what I would want. You know, if it's gonna be like a 2-minute or, you know, minute and a half cooldown, something crazy like that, I want a potion alternative, you know? Give me something else. Clive is a freak of nature, a JRPG main character in his 30s. I know. He's an old man.
Find something, boy. Death.
Oh, found her.
Oh dear.
This was my mother's doing.
But why? Why would anyone?
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave
Oops.
them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
Wouldn't it be a crazy plot twist if, you know, it wasn't the mama? We all think the mama did this, whether, you know, Clive believes it or not. That has no influence. We all believe the mama did this. Cause she's a sucker fool. Who and where are Jill's parents? When I went into this menu, I wanted to look up Jill because it was my understanding that Jill and Clive were siblings. But I don't technically know that. It could just be like a ward or something like that. Oh, I have to remember when next I go to the hideout to look into that. Try to figure out who Jill actually is. Because I definitely think that there's still some suspicious things going on with Jill. And it all started with the bridge that Sid jumped on. Yes, it's only efficient when using Limit Breaker. Ah, yes. That thing that I've never used ever since getting it. Because I'm stingy. I need to remember to use that against bosses. I'm going to take a detour here and go to the Broken Hilt. Fight this, whatchamacallit thing. Hunt. It was basically a hostage. She's a princess, and that's all you know. It said early game that Joe was taken hostage by Clive's father. Interesting.
Stay down!
Go ahead and spend some points here. Let's see, that's a master. Just allows assignment on any icon. I like pile drive. I think pile drive is good. We should probably upgrade Limit Break. Now that we've done that, we don't really have any points to do anything else, so it works. I meant to come here to save. Apparently I needed to mark a little while ago. Did my bot not tell me to mark? My bot did not tell me to mark. It also didn't send a message at the very beginning saying that the marking was working. Interesting. Are you even in the chat? You are in the chat.